Hello, today we are going to look at populism and we are going to look at the unmaking of Narendra Modi of India. So populism is often described by political scientists as a thin ideology, and it is actually an ideology whose prime focus is to appeal to the concerns of the supposedly poor majority who have been disregarded by the elites. This is always the selling point for populists, and their prime catchphrase is always for the people. Narendra Modi of India is a populist, and having sold for the people idea only for him to go ahead and notoriously mismanage India. And I'll tell you why and how. By May 2021, India had seen record high COVID-19 cases spiraling to 400,000 plus cases every 24 hours. With fully packed hospitals and lack of drugs and oxygen, his leadership was brought to the full glare of the world. The Prime Minister went ahead and ignored calls for better COVID-19 management. He and other members of his party held public campaigns right before the April elections. No mask, no social distancing, just clamped up people. This would eventually oversee the pandemic aftermath, with Narendra Modi portraying just how populists only sell the idea of helping the people as a leeway to garner votes, but once in office, they completely ignore that. This even came with calls for resignation from other leaders such as Mamata Banerjee of West Bengal. His USA counterpart, a populist too, Donald Trump, having faced impeachment charges due to his mishandling of the virus as well. So this is something that is seen by populists around the world. One spitting characteristic of populists around the world is that their governments fail on delivering their campaign promises as always. And another case study could be Jair Bolsonaro of Brazil. Okay, now back to Narendra Modi. On his COVID-19 response, he largely focused on exporting COVID-19 vaccines but failed to order enough to be manufactured for the domestic population. This shows that populism is a failed ideology and voters should always be wary of populists. The fact that Narendra Modi has been India's most popular prime minister shows just how tactful populists are at lying to the public and thus garnering majority support. Still, on his populist leadership style, he ignored calls by economic experts and went ahead and got rid of India's banknotes back in 2016. In one night, 86% of all cash became invalid, and this made India take a down path when it came to its economy. And the demonetization policy decided, to be one that shook India, even coming with the financial crisis. Similarly, in 2017, most SMEs were forced to close due to a new sales tax that was introduced. But this has not always been the case with India. When Narendra Modi got into power in 2014, he crafted out policies that managed to lift Indians out of poverty. He provided sanitation by building more than 100 million toilets, which was actually his signature program, and he also improved access to electricity. But the curse of populism would later catch up with Narendra Modi from 2019. Statistics show that 12 million Indians enter the workforce every year, and his undoing has seen unemployment levels rise so high in India. However, there is no denying that India's problems, even in the light of the global pandemic and the global financial crisis, have been self-inflicted, starting from the top leadership. Modi and other populists have poorly managed the pandemic. The question is, will Modi turn over his reputation by 2025? At the moment, Indians are largely discontented with his leadership, but Modi still has time to change the famous negative narrative associated with populism. And one key step will be to double the economy by 2025, just as he promised.